Hi guys, I'm Elena V and welcome back to my channel. It's always a pleasure to see you come back, and it's also a pleasure to see a couple new faces. If you're not already part of this tight-knit community, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you will be notified as to when I upload a new video. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just get into today's video. If you don't already know, there's a rather big debate surrounding Alex Jones and InfoWars. This debate started when video streaming services started removing content or have completely banned the content from Alex Jones and InfoWars. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple iTunes and their podcast libraries decided to remove certain content based on their terms of agreement. These companies have cited that content attached to Alex Jones and InfoWars violated terms of service agreements that involved hate speech.
I don't like gay people. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
And glorified violence. They don't mention, however, these actions are in conjunction of spreading false news, which is an important point that I'm going to touch on later in this video. Many of the producers, writers, and fans of the show have insisted that this is a gross infringement on their rights of freedom of speech. They also say this is a coordinated effort made by big tech companies to align with partisan Democrats to help them with upcoming primaries across the nation, while those that do not consider themselves supporters of the show disagree with their side of the debate, saying that private companies can withhold certain content on their platforms if they feel like their policies are not being followed.
Never defeat the human spirit! You'll never defeat God! You'll never win!
Okay, so aside from the arguments on both sides of the debate, here's the main problem with this argument that is not being mentioned. Yes, private business can inhibit content even though it's accessible to the general public. That means they can choose what can be published according to their policy. You have the right of free speech in a public setting organized by public agencies, those being provided by local, state, or federal governments. However, this is what is being missed. When do you as a creator have to take responsibility for the content that you create and publish?
Never!
I have never been a fan of InfoWars or Alex Jones himself. That is not to say I would wish him any malice or wish him the inability to express himself in any way in a public setting. However, when you continuously publish false content that misinforms an audience, you are in turn responsible. I am not by any means suggesting you are primarily responsible for violent acts or hateful acts against an individual, but your content isn't making the situation even better. In our current time, we are living in an age where hate, violence, and general ignorance is running rampant in our country, which is causing a massive divide amongst our communities. Rather than adding fuel to the fire, shouldn't you try and produce content that attempts to bring people closer together and show our similarities rather than our differences?
Never!
An intellectual and rational debate on issues that uses fact to question motives or to try to understand an issue on a deeper level is one thing, but to continue to pollute the waters by only adding to the growing ignorance is sure not helping the situation either. I am a creator of political content that attempts to foster an intellectual dialogue that I hope will allow people to understand each other and our unique backgrounds, because I know one of the biggest hurdles that we face as a nation is the fact that we lack understanding, and because of that we allow fear to motivate us. Fear only leads to more fear, and eventually it leads to hate. This is just my opinion, and I want to hear from you. So let me know what you think about this subject in the comment box below. Do you think creators should take responsibility for the content that they produce? So if you liked anything that I discussed here today, be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Be sure to follow me on my social media accounts. A link to those accounts will be provided in the description box below. Again, I'm Elena V, and remember, always leave things better than how you found it. Bye.